Hi everyone. I hope everyone is doing good. So, in my last video about the interview tips, that was more focused for the freshers, or it was, it had everything, but more focused on the freshers basically. Now, this one is more focused for experienced people, a little younger experience. Obviously, if you have higher, you know, like a 10, 12 years of experience, I guess you don't need interview tips. You're already very well aware of how to give interviews basically. So, I'm equally experienced as you guys are. So, it doesn't make sense that I give you tips. But yes, for little, younger experienced professionals, and this also applies for freshers as well. You know, so that how how do you prepare, or how do you give your interviews? So a little very short, I mean, first of all, this video is not going to be as big as the previous one because I had to cover a lot of ground in that video. So this is going to be a little shorter video, probably even less than 30 minutes, but I'll try to cover all the bases. Again, a little bit of background. Last time when we spoke about the interview tips, I spoke about the freshers. There I mentioned about, what to do on your, on your interview days, um, how to prepare for your interview, how to give an interview, keep smiling. That's also applicable for experienced candidates as well. Then be honest on your CV. Don't fudge the data basically. Don't fudge information. So those are the things. Now let us talk about what I would give as tips to young, professionals, experienced people, as well as freshers, uh, while giving your interviews. So see, I'll tell you something. In this world, uh, you know, first of all, as I've said, giving interviews is an art. So and art is all about writing, storytelling. So we all love storytelling. We all love, and I'm going to talk about storytelling once more in maybe some next videos of mine. But in this present video, um, giving interview is about telling a story about yourself, story about a person who's sitting in front of an interviewer and telling the best story. And um, when you tell a story, there's always a hero, a background, and everything else. There has to be music, there has to be something else. But yes, there has to be a story, and each part of the story should be relevant, and should be connected to one another. So taking an example, I told you about how to introduce yourself. So it's again applicable for both freshers as well as experienced people. But now when I talk about experienced people, when you introduce yourself, try and mention the key projects in your CV. So for example, when I give my interviews, I tell everyone, hi, my name is Himanshu. My am I'm presently, let's assume, I'm presently working with the XYZ company. In this is a top 5 pharma company globally. I am handling the global CI within this company. I'm presently working for a cardiovascular franchise. Okay. for this cardiovascular franchise, I'm working for product A, which is an already launched product. It's a $2 billion peak price product, and I'm working for that team basically. Now, just a second, please. Sorry, there was some sort of flicker. Okay, so you should talk about a story. When you talk about a story, so yeah, I was telling that I'm working for a company A and product X, which is a cardiovascular $2 billion product. I'm also supporting a metabolism product, which is a pipeline product. This pipeline product is being assessed in 2 to 3 indications, which are rare indications in the metabolism space, and so on and so forth. Then, I've been working with this company for let's say 5 years. Before this, I was working for company ABC. This company is a beauty consulting. This company works into primary and secondary research, and I was managing a team of 7. I was handling a cardio metabolism cardio-renal project actually, with this company for a client, which was again a top 5 pharma company. Um, I was also managing a project in systemic lupus, and so on and so forth. Now, what I'm doing is I am telling you the titles of each story of mine. Then the interviewer is going to be asking you that, okay, Himanshu, tell me what was your role for this as a CI manager uh, for this brand, basically brand X, basically, which is a cardiovascular product. So then I'll tell them a beautiful story about that molecule. So I joined this company. I joined this company A 3 years back. When I joined, this product was a phase 3 molecule, and when I joined, I was the youngest one in the team. But I joined as a senior analyst. I worked with multiple people in this team. I worked with all the brand managers, brand directors, and my work here is, earlier when I started, my work was about analysis, gathering information, secondary research, creating landscapes, working with the forecasting team, working with the market access team, and so on and so forth. But now my role has evolved from an analyst to a manager kind of a role, where I am working as a liaison between the brand team, which is sitting in the US and Europe, and my role is actually within India. We have market access, social media listening, we forecasting. So I work as a liaison between all the teams, CI included, all the teams and the brand team. So when brand team comes with during our brand meetings, we come up with multiple ideas. We execute those ideas in collaboration. We collect their data and information from and so it's my responsibility to work as to connect the dots, basically, to give the whole picture to the brand team, and so on and so forth. So this is how I have told them a story. Now this is about the experienced person, but now what about the fresher one? So for a fresher, again, I've already mentioned that you talk about your internship. You mentioned about an internship. So tailor your stories, tailor your project work as per what you know about your capabilities. It should give them idea about your strengths. It tells you about it. It should tell them about what your you know what your positive sides are, what efforts you have put in, and so on and so forth. Like for example, I have done an internship in Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital. I was working in genetics. I've already told you about that. So for each company, you should have at least 2 to 3 projects, which and these projects should be your you have diluted them in water and absorbed them like a medicine, uh, ADME, basically absorption from the ADME. So you have absorbed them. So when you absorb them, it starts, you know, um, uh, mixing up in your body, and goes to your each cell, basically, and you can tell that story very efficiently. So don't go for your interviews unprepared. Prepare these fantastic stories where you come out as a hero or a heroine, for that matter. So you come out as a as a superstar person, basically, and obviously no one is gonna, but you have to be very cognizant about this thing, that you don't overplay your hand. When I mean, what do I mean by overplaying my hand? You are an analyst, who has, let's say, 2 years of experience, but you go and give an interview and say that I have done, and I have given an I have done this project where I have handled end-to-end delivery. I was an analyst also, and I delivered the whole project also. I managed a team. I did this, I did that. No, no one is gonna buy that. Then it becomes a falsified story. It becomes a falsified statement, and then you turn out to become a very oversmart guy who creates hyperbolic stories, basically. So a good story has a balance. A good story has always a balance, that um, I'll take a very idiotic example. So I had an unfortunate incident of watching this movie called Bade Miyan Chote Miyan, the new one. It's such a pathetic movie. Why? Because the storyline is so unpathetic. Okay. But whereas if you watch a movie, Uri, again, a very solid storyline, very captivating storyline, that you do this has happened, this has happened, this has happened, and then this has happened. So everything is interconnected with each other. Heroes have not done something which is hyperbolic. It is something which is firstly based on facts, but they have not taken a liberty of doing very hyperbolic stuff like what they have done in this idiotic movie like Bade Miyan Chote Miyan and all that. So that's why I'm saying, create your story in a very balanced way. You turn out to be a hero, but you shouldn't look like an artificial intelligence. Okay. So yeah, that's one tip. Second thing is, um, be ready with your basics. It's something which I always say, and I think I've said this in my previous video also. Be ready with your basics, because what happens is sometimes the interviewer is not interested in your stories. I sometimes just ignore what they are saying, and I'm in a mood where I want to ask my questions. And when I do that, I usually go to the basics. I don't ask questions based on their experiences. I talk and ask about the basics. So when that kind of a situation happens, you need your basics, and when these basics are involved, there is no alternative for it. So yeah, if you say pharmacology, then pharmacology. If you talk about, so as an experienced person, sometime I'll ask you about your basics. I'll ask you about, okay, someone might ask me what, okay, you worked in cardiovascular. Okay, tell me what are 5 types of hypertensive drugs, 5 categories of hypertensive drugs. It's a related question. I should know that, because if I'm doing a tracking, and cardiovascular, I have not obviously told about the indication. One could assume, and I've say, let's say hypertension is one of those indications, I need to have a basic clear. I need to know if someone asks me that, you're working on metabolism, uh, tell me 10, tell me 10 products of, anti-diabetic products, anti-diabetic drugs basically, not products, drugs. Tell me that, and then leave out insulins. So again, while you're going for an interview, go for your basics. While understand your basic, learn your basics, and then create multiple stories, multiple story lines, I would say, and then go for your these interviews. Be smartly dressed. Okay, don't be an over smart. Okay, then don't be defensive. Yes, sometimes what happens is, you know, um, when you're stuck, and then someone identifies that this is something which is your mistake. Sometimes I've seen students being very defensive about interviewees becoming very defensive about it. Let's say I said that I named 5 hypertensive drugs and one of those was wrong, and the interviewer tells me that no, okay, this is wrong. Are you sure about this and that? No, don't be very defensive. Uh, Say that I remember these 5. Might be a possibility that I am missing out on something because I'm little nervous as well. Obviously, this is my first interview, or this is my first interview in a while. So yeah, that's the situation. Um, and it has been 3 years since I have worked on the basic of this project, because I've been associated with this project for last 3 years. And when I started that time, I used to work on these basics, but now my role has evolved. I get it that I shouldn't be I shouldn't be forgetting about this, but what can we do? This has happened, but you're right, I'll brush it up when I come. And if I'll start again, as if I'll starting with you on a cardiovascular project, I'll brush up my memory and my previous learnings basically. So those are the things you should be doing rather than being defensive. So yeah, I think that should be suffice. That should suffice. Again, I would, as I always say, but you don't guys do that. Please comment and ask me questions. Please mail me and ask me questions. I'll be very happy to answer. I'll very I'll be very happy to take up a call and take up you guys on a call, and then answer your questions, help you out without any additional, without any cost. So don't worry about it. That's something I'm doing for my passion. So yeah, happy to help, happy to be at the service. Thank you. Have a nice day. Great one. Bye bye.